Hi YouTube, it's Shaneli here. In this video, I want to cover the topic of 0% utilization. Now, I've gotten so many emails. I've sent at least 30 different emails already to different people about 0% utilization because a lot of people ask me via email, and also even just people have put it in the comments of different videos on the channel, asking, hey, what should I do? Should I have 0% utilization, or should I try to have 1%, 2%? I know that people say 10% is excellent, but where exactly should I be? And if I'm at 0%, is that good or bad for my score? So I just want to talk through two important things that you need to kind of think about when it comes to 0% utilization specifically. Before I jump into the video though, I do want to remind you all that I have a Patreon page linked in my description box below. Go ahead and click on that and consider giving $1 if you could find it in your heart and in your budget to give $1 every month. That would be really, really helpful to me because I can put that towards creating more content right here on this channel. Okay, so let's jump into talking about 0% utilization. It's a good thing or a bad thing. It kind of depends, right? So it's a good thing if your credit score, if your credit card is being used every month, right? If you use it, or at least every few months, to buy important things that you need or whatever, or even to pay your bills or to get whatever you want to get, and then you pay it off in full by the end of the month or by the time you get your bill in the mail, then great. That's never going to hurt your credit score because what it's doing is showing that you're paying off your entire balance to zero each month. And that allows you to avoid paying interest, which is a good thing. And in terms of utilization, it'll bring you down to zero. And then next month, when you make more purchases, or the next time you make more purchases, it'll restart your utilization from there. And that's good because it keeps your credit card active. It keeps your account active. It looks like, oh, okay, this person is using the account, they're using the credit card, and they're making their payments. The important thing to note here is, and I'm going to link the other video here because in this other video that I talk about, specifically when you should pay your card down to zero, or when you want it to be between 1 and 10% to have like the excellent category of for utilization when it comes to your score. So there's a specific time, and you want to pay that right before your statement closing date. You want to have it as low as possible. So it should be, you can leave some activity on there, but always try to keep it below 10% by your statement closing date. And then on the due date, you can pay it all down to zero, and that way you can avoid interest. So if you do that, technically your utilization is going to be 0% by your due date, or close to 0% by the time your statement closing date comes, but it's not always going to be zero. So now let's flip over and talk about the other way that you might have 0% utilization, which is if it's always zero. If you never use your credit card, if you literally utilize it never, let's say you put your credit card in an old dusty box in the back of your closet, and you're like, I don't want to touch it because it's going to tempt me to go shopping, it's going to tempt me to overspend, and I'm trying to be good and tight with my budget, so I'm just not going to touch the credit card. That's actually a bad thing if you allow that to happen for a really long time. And the reason why is because credit card companies are going to look at you and think that you're a waste of their time and a waste of their money and effort, right? So what I mean by that is every single month, credit card companies are going to be sending your activity over to the credit bureaus so that the credit bureaus can put it together in a fancy credit report and give you a score based on your activity. So how much shopping you're doing, how much spending you're doing, and when you're paying it down, if you're being responsible and paying it on time, all that stuff, right? So if you never use your credit card ever and your utilization is 0% every single month, always zero, you never use it at all, that's actually going to not necessarily even be 0% utilization. That's technically just an inactive account. And if your account is inactive for too long, then the credit card company is just going to want to shut it down. They're just going to want to close your credit card, close your account, because every month they check it and they send a report to the credit bureaus, and it's like they're doing all that work for nothing. They're paying people to pull up your account to look at how much you've spent. You've spent nothing, and then every month they're sending 0, 0, 0. Oh, then this person's not using their card again, not using their card again. Next month, oh, still didn't use their card. So you're wasting their time and their effort and, their employees' energy and stuff, right? All of this takes paperwork. It takes coordinating back and forth with the credit bureaus. So if it's not worth it for them to do that because every month you're just 0, 0, 0, 0, then you're a waste of their time. And so they're going to just basically close your account on you. And you do not want this to happen. You never want a credit card company to shut down or close down a card or an account on you, because then what will happen is your total credit available is going to decrease completely, right? It's going to, well, not totally down to zero, but it's going to decrease down, by the amount that that card had available to use. So let's say, you have a Visa card and you're never using it. You don't use it for like 6 or 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, almost a year comes and you haven't used that card. Then the credit card company will send you a letter in the mail saying, we've closed this card, you can no longer use it, and that account is going to be closed. At that point, if that Visa card had $400 on it, your credit available now drops by $400. So now you have $400 less available to you to use. And also, that's really bad because it's going to affect your utilization score or your utilization points, in your category for utilization on your credit score. So basically, it's going to be like, oh, let's say you spent 100 out of 1,200, that's 1/12. But then if you subtracted $400 because your card got shut down and you don't have those 400 anymore, now you're at 800. So now that's 1/8, which is a bigger piece than 1/12. So that means your utilization is going to increase because you have a bigger chunk of the total credit available to you that you're using right now. So that's actually really bad. You don't want them to close the account on you. And you also don't want to lose the credit history that you've had with that card. Let's say you had that card open for 7 years. When they close it on you, that's 7 years of credit history that you're going to lose just because you didn't use the card at all for like a year or whatever. So just make sure that you use your credit card every once in a while, and you don't want to have 0% utilization because of inactivity. If you have 0% utilization, it should be because you paid down your balance in full by your statement closing date or by your due date, preferably your due date, so that you have some activity to be reported when your statement closing date comes around. If you're not sure what your statement closing date is or why it's important to know the difference between that date and your statement due date, then check out this other video that I posted on my channel, which explains it really clearly. And there's a couple other videos as well that I'll link in the description box below, where you can, learn more about the billing cycle or the billing periods that come along with your credit card and your statement cycles every month. All right, that is pretty much everything that I wanted to share with you guys about 0% utilization. I hope that clears it up, and I hope that I don't get a whole bunch of other emails asking about 0% utilization, if it hurts your score or not. Yes and no, right? So it just kind of depends on what your situation is and why you have 0% utilization to begin with. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys. If you have any comments or questions about this topic, you can definitely put them down below into the comments. And let me know what you're thinking. If you've left your card unused for a long time, if that ever happened to you, let me know in the comments if they closed the card on you or not and how you dealt with that, because I think a lot of people are curious about that situation. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and click the subscribe button now and support the channel. Show me some love. You can always write to me if you have any other questions that you don't want to comment about specifically with this topic. You can write those to me at MissBeHelpful@gmail.com. Till next time, peace.